I guess it's right.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Well, call the meeting to order. Welcome to November's Commissioner Pharmacy meeting. Welcome, everyone. And please silence your cell phones or any electric devices that you may have. And it's a shorter agenda today compared to the usual, so hopefully we'll have you in the open meeting. And let's start with roll call and attendance starting.
Ann Taylor, Commissioner.
Kristen Linder, Commissioner.
Mary Wanty, Commissioner.
Angelo DeFazio, Commissioner.
Richard Carberry, Commissioner.
Debbie Chisholm, Commissioner.
Gina Samples, Board Administrator.
All right, let's get started with new pharmacy applications. Is CTH Heartland LLC, DBA Vital Care of Hartford in the house? Come on up. Mr. Carberry, Commissioner Chisholm, if you'd like to step down, just right on the other side of that. How are you? Sarah? Would you please raise your right hand? Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Is there any position ownership in the pharmacy? Will there be any POS system or register or computer that's going to sit outside of the licensed pharmacy area? And you attest to me that you'll follow all local and state building codes. Let's see. Oh, will there be any sterile compounding? And how about non-sterile compound? Very good. Let's see. Thank you.
There we
I can almost see it from here.
As
Where you
people
go.
do, right?
Walk us through and just get into a larger bill, obviously, so you're in a suite. Get a very small safe. So probably. I saw the safe. Back that kind of. Yeah. Yeah, I assume so because you're a specialty.
Unless it's.
The comms were there.
Common all that.
I'm just doing a huge information thing. Street. It's such a PM.
So you just said. Yeah, that's fine. No, that's fine. Since your patient could be on the phone. Here. Exactly. Well, it's there, just, you know.
It's always fascinating.
I wonder what we have. So if you look in-
It just needs to contact people. Ready for inspection. Good luck. Thank you for the skill.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, then the next is pharmacy remodels, Walmart. So for the record, there's six pharmacy remodels that Garrett's gonna represent all of them. Garrett, could you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
because it's an existing pharmacy. I don't have to ask you the other questions. So these are all identical changes. So we'll do all of them at the same time. Just make sure that all the drawings are identical. I know you pointed out a few things already, Commissioner. Very good.
We're starting with the.
Let's see.
Let's see, Manchester, yep.
Yep, Manchester. Happy to do this 6 times, but do it once.
Yeah.
And we'll just.
So,
that's the drawings through.
so basically, if you're looking at our pharmacy, what we're doing in these is we're eliminating the pharmacy drop off. And that's now going to, patients will enter into a health services room and, refresh of the outside that patient pick up. But really, there's no change in square footage. We're not moving anything about where the pharmacy is based, the license is. Pretty straightforward. More of a refresh.
Okay.
Each room is basically, depends on the location, but it's right here, the bathroom is, it kind of flip flops.
Yes, and they're generally behind the health service.
Behind the house services. That doesn't. Exist.
Nothing else is moving. Either of these doors are open to the public. So we had talked about there is a computer in that health services room, but it's not a locked door that only a pharmacy staff member. Somebody that are getting an immunization.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, they moved a few refrigerators from the existing space. Everything else is.
That's what you're doing with all 6.
All 6.
Yeah, so this is, it is New England.
So that was 29.5. Straightforward, aim, this year.
This one is now just a sign.
Yes, it's reversed.
Yeah, it's reversed. That's what happened. Then-
Okay, we'll have a similar. Health services is one of that. And it's the pharmacy. That was the one where our computer.
Yeah, it was, not on this drawing here.
Tops the square footage, the saves, the sinks that we. The reason why we do this is that agents, because there's limited number of agents can go in and they have templates and they can look at, they don't have to say, well, this doesn't match or that didn't match. We try to throughout. We also do. Like in this case, there's 6 of them.
I think was just saying safe.
Yeah, safe is over.
Oh, safe is okay.
They've never
I
changed.
think it still says safe right there.
Yeah, and never changed. It's a typo. Don't ask me how I picked that up. No, just a little too many.
You know what you're looking
I
at.
don't know. East Windsor.
Windsor, somewhere else now. Health service.
License, you're responsible for some of the store as well. You'll see today, we'll send the books, you'll hear cases where sometimes things go wrong, and it's something that we. Something like answer. Either say yes or no. Or make it down. Sometimes we need to step down. Arbitrate the case. We have step down agents, commissioners to step down.
It was.
Like,
Case,
20, 30
because there's so much.
pharmacy, most cases, just because of an expert.
Commissioner will step down and help.
I know, right? It's
And right up.
You just had the space. You just used something else.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So we hear Mary talk about how
It's the same footprint.
Same footprint.
Remember this, but there sent it to place in Massachusetts where the sterile pharmacies.
Thank you.
So. Share what they have. Also. That managers, because being a manager of pharmacy is very different than being a manager at the other. With some of the things that we do. Today's a very good. Meeting, so you won't see all bells and whistles like we had in the last couple of them, which is good. I'm happy about that. But I just want to let you know what's on. So you understand. Right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, commissioners. In the matter of new pharmacy application, CPH Heartland LLC, DBA Vital Care of Hartford in East Hartford, Connecticut. What is your pleasure?
I'll move as presented.
There's a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, pharmacy passes. In pharmacy remodels, we'll do all six in one. And I'll name for the record, I'll name the store numbers. Walmart Pharmacy 10-1891, Walmart Pharmacy 10-2965, Walmart Pharmacy 10-1980, that was when I graduated high school. Walmart Pharmacy 10-2282, Walmart Pharmacy 3543, and Walmart Pharmacy 3546. What is your pleasure on the remodel?
Motion to approve all Walmart remodels as presented.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so moved. Is our Esquire in the house? Attorney Ando. Hey, Attorney Ando, how are you?
How are you?
Happy Thanksgiving.
You as well. Listen, Wes.
What can you tell us about case number 2023-1832?
This was a Connecticut pharmacy that was investigating following notification of a change in manager. It was alleged that the pharmacy was without a pharmacy manager for a period of time. That the pharmacy failed to immediately enroll, say, that position. It's actually a convoluted management change story. The initial contact with the department was notification that there would be a period where there would be temporarily no manager. This came from court. On the same day, there was a notification from pharmacy manager who was outgoing, notifying the commission that they would no longer be acting as manager, and in fact, retroactively saying that they had ceased acting as the manager 5 days prior. So was a notification, the manager changed. There was a notification to the commission that temporarily there was no manager available. Say, after this, there was a period of 76 days where there was no manager location.
How many days?
76. However, there was still contact from corporate about this attempt. There were multiple contacts, one of which was informing the commission that there was in fact a new manager. So during this period where there technically was no manager, period where the commission was under the impression that there was a manager, but it was in fact correctly attributed to this location. It was correspondence from the pharmacy ship corporate level. There was a new manager. It was mistaken. Some of the locations had been used correspondence. So trying to disentangle this in a kind of clear way, but essentially there was a short period where it appeared that there was no manager and a new manager. Person was not in fact acting as the manager. They were acting as a manager at another location. And it was eventually clarified when the manager was found for this location. During that period of 76 days, some of it there was manager was manager. Because there was some contact and an attempt to keep the commission apprised of the situation, a settlement that is a settlement agreement with a payment of $2,500. There were attempts to notify. There was some confusion happening. There was some complicated staffing moves happening in the background. There's enough fusion that fairly, this is just 76 days that was.
Any questions for Attorney Endo? The only question I have is, Attorney, does this pharmacy have any other violations?
This type of violation, no. Don't. In that phrasing, let me clarify that I did not check for other types of enforcement issues at the location, so I only looked for this type.
Questions for Attorney Endo? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion on case 2023-1832 as presented by Attorney Endo. I hear a second. Favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so moved. Anything else for us, attorney?
I have some numbers for you, which in the pharmacy space are a little bit in terms of what's come in new because there's been in other licensing areas. So the volume is extraordinary, but they're not pharmacy commission matters. So we have,
We like that.
yeah, right. So in the last month, and this is just the new things that have come in since we last spoke. We have one closure case. Similar to this kind of situation. We have one case with a manager issue, so no manager or periods with one manager. We have a couple cases where clients were acting as pharmacists. So verifying, dispensing, these kinds of issues. We have a similar kind of issue with an intern acting as pharmacist for.
We're closer.
Yeah. But that's the new matters in the last 4 weeks that have come in for final enforcement. Sure, they're out there doing all investigation stages still.
Very good. Anything else for Attorney Engel? Easy peasy.
And approach first.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Attorney. Have a great Thanksgiving. All righty, first-time managers, just for our board. Amanda, I'll cross off Amanda first. She's not here. First-time managers here. Everyone is first-time manager, please stand up and just line up either behind the desk, in front of the desk. In front's fine, so see you, please. Yeah, very good. That's it, huh, today? Wow, this is a small class. Very good. I'm going to, I'm gonna butcher your names, but I'm gonna do attendance, okay? Monique Albuja. Hi, Monique. How do you say your last name? Albuja. Said that. Dominique Jalino. Is Dominique here? Okay. Shini Karakanda. Thank you, McShane. Essa Rashi. Yes. Thank you, Essa. Jasmine Lee. Is Jasmine Lee here? Come on up. Well, you didn't know you were a first-time manager? Are you doing, are you an imposter? Thank you, Jasmine. And Sharif Alafaya. Thank you, Sharif. Is there anybody here, anybody else that's a first-time manager that's not on the list? Very good. So you probably wonder why we call you in. We're one of the few states that actually still does that, do this. And I think it's incredibly important. As you can hear, we try to put cases now before first-time managers, so you can hear, unfortunately, some of the pitfalls that may take place in that. So we'd like you to hear these cases, like to have you see the process. But it's such a position of responsibility that we think it's really important just to go over a few things. I can't possibly go over all that's needed to be a pharmacy manager and all the requirements for that, but you will attest to me today that you'll go to the Connecticut.gov website, and there's great FAQs on that website for pharmacy managers, great frequently asked questions that you can go through, and many of those are answered. But I'd like to go over just a few things that seem to come up very often, especially on inspections at the pharmacies. Some of the common things is how many hours a week must the pharmacy manager work minimum? 35 is correct. With closures, with some of the pharmacy shortages that we're hearing about, you heard a case today that actually turned into a fine. And whoever that pharmacy manager is, God bless them, they listened to me, they notified themselves, the department, rather than letting your companies do it. So it worked out where they didn't get in trouble. Trouble's the wrong word, where they did the right thing by notifying the department. So minimum 35 hours a week. License expirations, receive sometimes texts and pharmacist license expire. Keep yourself a little file for your pharmacist, your staff pharmacist, your technicians, make sure they are licensed appropriately. Going along with that, make sure you have all your CE. Gina and I dread February and March because we get all these cases where, oh, we didn't finish our CE. We're not as sympathetic about Your CE, that's a requirement of license. Make sure your CEs are all caught up. Make sure your staff pharmacist CEs are caught up. Make sure your technicians CEs are caught up if they specialize in a particular area or silo of expertise for that particular technician. Also, keep your CEs in the NABP vault. That's a great way, especially if you're licensed in multiple states. It's a great way to keep track of your CEs because certain states have different requirements. So NABP does that for you. They'll let you know if you're short logs or if you're, the number of CEs that's needed. So use the NABP vault to keep your CEs. Tech ratios. What are the tech ratios? 2-to-1. 3-to-1 certified, 4-to-1 if they are certified in immunizations from the months of October through March. I finally got it right. And in the near future, the regs aren't written yet, but perhaps next year we'll have an advanced tech certification, and that not count towards the ratio. So in essence, from October to March, a pharmacy may have a 5-to-1 ratio at that time when the regs pass on that. So it's something to look forward to in the future. So make sure you keep track of that. We don't see it as often as we used to, but the day that you have a clerk, and there's also a clerk license now, so it's really important. And look up those regs because it tells you exactly what a clerk can't do. And it's important because sometimes I know in our stores we had clerks, and when a technician was doing a clerk's job, it took away from our ratio. So if you have the ability to use clerks to do a clerk's job, do that because it doesn't go against your technician ratios. But it's very, very important to know that. And the day that you do have a clerk doing technician work is the day an inspector walks in. Trust me, that's always the case. So make sure you keep your ratios when diversion. We hate to talk about diversion, but it happens. How long do you have to notify the department if there's an issue? 72 hours, right? Even if it's only 1 or 2 tablets, 72 hours gives you time to recount. Maybe there was a miscount, something on inventory, you can figure it out. Maybe it was a partial that didn't get counted correctly. But if there is an issue with your count, you have to notify the department within 72 hours. Just be aware of the drugs that may get diverted. Be aware where they are. Make sure your counts are correct. If you have robotics or any machinery that does any inventory or accounting in your store, make sure they're accurate. We had robots in my pharmacies. When the robot starts alarming and screaming, don't ignore it. It means that it's miscounting. So so make sure you understand that, especially if you have a scheduled drug inside your robots or your counting machines. Some of the tricks of the trade is the person that enters the CSAUS order is not the same person that takes in the inventory when it comes in from the wholesaler. Make sure you check the order then and there. We've had some issues where it's been the wholesaler's word transportation versus the pharmacy, why something was missing. So when drugs come in, nice thing to do if you have time is make sure you count it right then and there and make sure that inventory is accurate on what your CSAUS order was. Make sure you keep up with your PMP, prescription monitoring program. Make sure you always check that. Make sure all the diabetic products are in there, the insulins. It's really important with the emergency insulin rules now that if a person needs to get that, it gives the other pharmacy that needs to fill that if one of the pharmacies are closed that patient typically visits, the ability to see what their product is so that they can dispense it. So it's important you stay on track of it. Misfills. We hate to talk about misfills. Make sure you document them right away. Because 6 months from now or a year from now, if someone comes in, it's going to be that documentation that is going to help your cause. Because if you don't have anything documented, we won't know. Do not sweep things under the rug. Be very transparent. Call the healthcare professionals that are involved. Let the patient know. Sweeping things under the rugs has a way of coming back and really biting you. So make sure you're transparent. Try to write up quality reports. You may be able, like I always tell our story. I had a technician that kept making the same mistake. We kept catching it. It was Xanax and Zantac. And because they were right next to each other back in the day, they were still brand name back then. And so we moved them. We put the X in the letter A and the Z in the Z, and that helped dramatically because they couldn't pick the wrong one. We had a technician that was making mistakes. We found out that the tech was dyslexic. So because of that, we were able to have the technician do a task that wouldn't affect the dyslexia. We also created near misses back then. And I don't know if you use it, but near misses are great where you keep track of your near misses before the product goes out, because that may give you an idea where the breakdown may be. It could be a person, it could be a process, it could be a computer, it could be inventory, whatever it may be, that may be leading to a misfill. But the point is, God forbid, it happened, don't sweep it under the rug. I can't believe I have to say this, but I do because it's happened. If a drug control agent walks into your pharmacy, by all means, check their credentials because you probably don't know them. Once you verify their credentials, you must allow them in the pharmacy. You can't say, wait a minute, could you come back tomorrow? I have to call my regional manager. I have to call the owner of the store. You must allow them in the pharmacy. As you heard today with closings and issues with pharmacy personnel, report early closings. Make sure it's up to the pharmacy manager. Make sure you report it. Don't think that your employer is going to do that. If the pharmacy is going to be closed for any period of time, or if you have to leave early, make sure you report it to the department. Really, really important to do. Naloxone dispensing. The state of Connecticut does a great job, but we always can do a better job. When the opportunity presents itself, by all means, see if the patient is a naloxone, is eligible for naloxone. Make sure you do that. Record keeping. We saw some issues with record keeping being very sloppy. There's fines for that now. Your agent comes in and the pharmacy looks like a mess. Probably going to start looking, because if you're running a messy pharmacy, bad things happen. So be efficient. Make sure you do all the record keeping properly. And keep a nice, neat pharmacy. The pharmacy tech manual. One of the seems to come up often on inspections is the pharmacist making sure that their pharmacy technician manual is up to date. Make sure you keep it up to date. Don't forget your opioid stickers. Yuck face, that can be purchased from the Connecticut Pharmacy Association. As of January 1st of this year, all opiates must have that sticker, so make sure you do. And with that, I will turn it over to Commissioner Nguante to speak to you about the MedWatch program. Commissioner.
Thank you, Chairman. Well, congratulations on your leadership appointments. That's great. And I just want to tell you a little bit about the FDA MedWatch program. And this is a website that is a repository for all reported incidences from the field, recalls, things that are being watched. And you can sign up for the push email. So it's not something you have to go in and actively monitor. You just put in your email and they send you these alerts. Again, the spirit of this is to make you that great resource for your patients that you serve and the healthcare practitioners you interface with. Right now, the most recent one that I've been mentioning is the Chinese manufactured syringes that, again, the FDA has taken a pretty hard line, and they're not anymore here in the United States. So just stuff like that, just another dimension to your practice and your knowledge base. And that's pretty much it for me. Just like to make sure that you have all the tools in your toolbox to be successful.
Yeah, I also want to talk to you about the Haven Health Program. It's a specific program for pharmacists and pharmacy interns. It's completely confidential. It's for pharmacists that may be impaired, substance abuse issues, pharmacists that have had mental fatigue, whatever the cause may be. If you know a friend or you suspect a pharmacist, or if it's yourself, completely confidential. It's a program specific for pharmacists and pharmacist interns, and it's called the Haven Health Program. You can look it up. They did a nominal presentation to the board last year, and it's very, very impressive and completely confidential. I also want to recommend that you join associations, join the Connecticut Pharmacists Association, join the National Community Pharmacy Association, join, the APHA, join whatever association best fits your particular workspace. If it's a specialty, maybe an oncology specialty, a pediatrics, but whatever it may be, I can't tell you the things that I've learned at these associations. Very, very important. Please join them if you have a chance to, because it's well worth it. And what it costs for an annual for an annual fee is nothing. It's really, really helpful. Any other questions for these young, eager pharmacists? Hearing none, I'll leave you with this. Use good judgment, no harm. Don't confuse company policy with state policy. Have fun, back to work. Thank you. Okay, very good. Moving on. Reciprocity candidates. Commissioner Linder, what do you have for
Yeah,
us?
thank you, Chairman. So this month we had a total of 4 candidates. I took a look at the applications and all are complete. So with that being said, I will make a motion.
There's a motion on the table. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, abstentions, so moved. Now comes one of our favorite parts of the agenda. Commissioner Ingwanti. We have request for new non-resident pharmacy applications as well as approved with additional information non-resident applications and the non-resident applications that have not been approved. Commissioner.
Thank you, Chairman. So first on my report, you'll see the new applications. These are applications you're seeing for the first time. Again, there's several denials for some different elements that were missing in their submission. One, I just want to call your attention to Smithville Pharmacy. I did not review, there was not an application on file for us. So I think that's somewhere in cyberspace and it will be making its way to us. The next section, I have the non-resident previously reviewed and they provided us with additional information. There's a couple on here I want to call your attention to. In particular, there's one under the name of Get Relief RX. It's from Billings, Montana. Right now, we're denying them because they have not been able to provide a home state inspection. The pharmacy manager wrote back saying that Montana does not do initial inspections. And Gina, our board administrator, is following up with the state of Montana to confirm that. So that one, once we get all that information, and we'll be back next time we meet in January. The other one I want to call your attention to is Strive Pharmacy in Gilbert, Arizona. Sometimes we find that pharmacies that are doing a little bit of mixing really want to be specialty pharmacies, but any mixing they're doing, they need to do it in a sterile environment. So we just need to clarify what the practice model is for this pharmacy. And then we have to just kind of help them with the type of license that they want for Connecticut. And again, how they're going to execute on those services. The third one I need to call your attention to is right underneath that on the report, Tabula Rasa, which is also a Care Kindness pharmacy. They have submitted everything that we need. They're non-sterile and community. They submitted 795 and everything. But the thing that was concerning to me is initially they did not provide their administrative actions. Upon second ask, they did provide them. And they have 218 pages of citations from 12 states over the period of 2017 to 2022. They have their home state inspection is New Jersey. They've corrected everything. And based on what their current state is today, they are in good standing. I just wanted to share that information with you. The citations were all very similar from each state. They either had unlicensed pharmacists, did not have licenses in the pharmacies they were in the states they were dispensing to, or they had excessive amounts of expired drugs. But as of this review right now, all of that is in their past, and with what I'm looking at, they are current. So those were the items I just wanted to take a few minutes to call your attention to, and that concludes my report.
Any questions for Commissioner Ingwanti?
Commissioner Guanti, for the pharmacy that does not have an initial inspection in their state. What we do we,
Well, what they provided was they did go to the NABP and they provided us with a VPP inspection, which again, it's very comprehensive. It's a couple hundred pages and that was no citations, everything was in compliance. But again, that's out of our norm. And ironically, I had another pharmacy that tried to just satisfy our requirements with just the NABP inspection. And they were from New York State and I review New York State. We all look at New York State pharmacies every single month. So we're gonna wait for their home state inspection.
thank you.
Any other questions? So Commissioner Guante, I just want to be clear on the tabula rasa, DBA care kinesis. This is kinesis, I guess. Are we denying that or approving?
I denied it until we decide.
So would you like to have a separate vote?
I
just on
would
that
like
one?
to.
Do you guys want to have a
Yeah.
separate vote on that one? So just to be clear, they are compliant as of 2022 to now.
Yes.
And that all previous, it sounded like they were the same in all the states. All previous citations have been corrected.
Right.
Do I have a motion from one of the commissioners? I'll make a motion to approve their kinesis as they are compliant as the application, at time of application. Do I hear a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Extensions? So moved. That's a tricky one, but they're compliant now and there's really nothing in our regs to deny them. But I think it was the right thing to bring to the board's attention. Maybe they learned their lesson. So, all right, so what we'll do now is we'll go through, that was a subset vote. Now we'll go through a complete vote of all the recommendations that were made with the approvals and denials, both for the additional information, the new, and the denials. Do I have a motion to accept Marion Guante's report? Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstentions. Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Guante. I know all the work that takes place with that.
Thank you, Chairman. I have one addendum
Oh,
and this was from yesterday. Normally we don't accept late submissions like that, but we will not be meeting next month. There's a Horizon Pharmacy that you all saw in my October report. And they simply needed to produce a prescription label with a toll-free number on it, which they provided to Gina yesterday.
So let the record show that they are approved under the approved with additional information that we just voted on. Horizon Pharmacy. And from where are they from? Just so for the record. Gina,
Warwick, Rhode Island.
Warwick, Rhode Island. Local state. Okay, very good.
Okay.
Okay, excellent. With that, looks like we need to approve our pharmacy minutes for the month of October. Has there been, hopefully you have a chance to take a look at them and corrections, omissions?
The commission date,
Oh,
2020.
2025, where are those? Yeah, sure. I have a question. Okay. Everyone has the list of
Yeah.
dates.
Yep.
Deb, you have a question?
Yeah, so just a concern with November 26th, which should be the day before Thanksgiving next year.
Yeah.
So I think we should do similar to what we did this year and move it to the week. Yeah.
I gotta put up my Christmas
You're
lights
gonna-
so I can turn them on next day on Friday. It's the official rule there.
That date would be
19th.
I thought,
the 19th.
you do that, Deb? I think we did the same thing last year,
Yes.
This year. Yep, that's why we're this week.
even if it's in the. maybe. Very good. So I'll make a motion to accept the dates with the change in November to November 19th for the calendar year 2025. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so moved. And now we can go to the pharmacy commission minutes for the month of October. Hopefully everyone had a chance to take a look at them. Is there any corrections or omissions or changes that need to be made? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion to accept the pharmacy minutes for October 2024.
So moved.
Do I hear a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. Very good. Before I make a motion for adjournment, I want to congratulate Commissioner Iguante. We have incredible talent on this board. Commissioner Iguante won one of the highest awards in her company, and she was recognized as the President Award for Becton Dickinson. And I'd like to give Commissioner Iguante a tremendous award. She should be very proud of it because I know how hard you work.
Thank you.
So with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Abstentions. So moved. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thank you. Awesome. That's a big award. Yeah. Deserve to be recognized.
There's some of them lasted over 2 hours. You didn't get your.
Detroit.
Any questions? Yeah, it's freezing. Yeah.